Welcome back. My name is on a book. My name is on a book. This should be my new catchphrase. My name is Nina Gikunda and Nina Power. Welcome back once again. I said earlier we have the campus movement here with us. They're here to take us through a conversation on dealing with sexual harassment, or rather dealing and ending sexual harassment by the staff in campus, two campus students. I have two amazing individuals with me here in studio. They have such amazing merchandise. Can you see this? But let me stop preempting. They'll take us through, this kind of merchandise. I just got excited to say my name here. We have Tom Onyango and Joanne Wanjiro here with us in studio. And here they are. Karibuni sana. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling
You're
good.
fine?
Yeah.
Joanne, tell us, who is Joanne Wanjiro?
Okay. Joanne was unable to come. Vanessa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Vanessa is basically a campus student from Kenyatta University.
Yes.
Passionate about mental health issues, and that is what I'm pursuing in school. BS Psychology, and I'm also passionate about gender-related issues. Yeah.
We also have Mr. Tom.
Yes,
How are you doing this?
I'm doing fine.
Please introduce yourself. Who is Tom Onyango?
Tom Onyango is a student at Kenyatta University. I'm on my final year doing Bachelor of Arts in Gender Development. I'm passionate on gender issues, especially the boy child, and also youth. Many times we have seen that youth are left out in the political arena. So passionate about climate action because that is what will affect the human nature within our planet today. Yep.
Maybe take us through what is Campus Me Too? What does that mean?
Campus Me Too is a student-led Pan-African movement aimed to end sexual harassment from staff on campus. It was started back in 2019. Throughout the while, we've been hearing a lot of cases concerning sexual harassment, but there was no platform whereby students could approach, discuss these issues, and solve them out. So through that, with the help of ActionAid, there's a survey that was done 2019 with the universities in Nairobi. We reached up to 1,015 students, and out of that, we got up to 50% of women are always sexually harassed by staff, and up to 25% of the male students are always harassed. So through that, we came up with a lot of things. We sit down, we discuss on how we're going to solve this out. And we come up with a 5 chart of demands on what we want to help us end sexual harassment.
Wow. Vanessa, maybe take us through what inspired this movement. What exactly inspired this movement?
The movement was inspired by one of us. She was the face of the campaign, Jael. Jael was sexually harassed in her first year when she was in Moi University, and that forced her to change the university she's in because she was affected. The effects, some of the effects of sexual harassment, seeing the perpetrator around, depression and other things came around. And now when she came, she joined hands together with other people. They went to ActionAid, and that is how the movement started, because she wanted to help other students to not go through what she had gone through. Yeah.
I'm curious, Tom, is that what inspired the name Me Too? Where did the name come from? Curious, where did the name come from?
The name Me Too is something common. Actually, we borrowed Campus Me Too from Uganda. Yeah, exactly. So initially it started in Nigeria, whereby even Nigerian university students are affected by this. So they started a Me Too movement, and with us we borrowed it from Uganda because we realized that it's not only Jael was affected by that. So by the time we started the conversation, we realized that people are coming on board and like,
Me Too.
Me Too, Me Too. So that's how Me Too came about.
Okay. Why specifically sexual harassment? Is it just sexual harassment, or you talk about every kind of harassment?
Campus Me Too is a movement, and for a movement, they always have one agenda that they focus on. When it comes to the issues of sexual harassment, it's not only students who are sexually harassed.
Yes.
We also have maybe staffs who are sexually harassed by students. But because a movement needs to have one agenda, for us, our agenda was to end sexual harassment from staff to the students. If maybe somebody else feels like to start a movement to protect the staff or protect any other person, they can do that. But for us, we chose that one
Just
agenda.
campus students.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's on campus. So if you're sexually harassed outside campus, that is not we cannot assist you on that. We can only assist you
if you are a campus
Yeah.
student. Interesting. Maybe Tom, take us through what is consent. What is consent?
Consent. Consent is a little bit wide topic, and in context to this, we really don't touch a lot of much concerning consent. But when you look at the meaning of sexual harassment, it's any unwanted sexual conduct, without the consent of the other person. Things concerning like hugging, kissing, you have non-verbal cold calling, a lot of text. No, this may require content, because I don't believe like if each and every time somebody come to hug without your permission, that person is really harassing you. So that's why now consent comes in, because you really need to seek approval from the other person if you want to do anything, especially when it's sexual in nature. Because now sex is what define human beings, you being a man or you being a woman. So it's something that we need to tackle it in a really good manner. Yes.
So Vanessa, I'm curious. So how does Campus Me Too operate?
Campus Me Too operates through the students, because it's a student-led movement. Yes, we have people who are supporting us, organizations supporting us like the UN Women and Action Aid, but it's the students who are the pioneer, like they're the ones guiding them. For them, they're just supporting us, but the students are the one like doing all the activities. We have opened chapters. Now we work within the different campuses. We have opened chapters now in around 6 institutions. That is UON, Kenyatta University, Moi University, Maseno University, ZTech, and Mawego Institute. Yeah.
Tom, how many types of sexual harassment are there?
We have 3 forms of sexual harassment. We have verbal, we have non-verbal, and physical. So under the 3 forms, we have now the types. Also under verbal, we have things like when somebody is telling you, let's say, you're beautiful, body shaming, that forms under verbal. When it comes about physical, hugging,
You're
kissing,
beautiful is
touching.
sexual harassment.
They
It
can
depends
say
on
in a way that is bringing
Oh,
some paper.
okay.
No, that's where the challenge comes, because maybe to you it's not, but to the other person it is.
Okay.
So we need to be avoiding this. You just can't come and meet any lady, despite the fact they're beautiful, and tell them, no, you're beautiful. So it's not something that is allowed.
So where do we draw the line between a compliment and harassment?
A compliment, it depends on how the compliment is, and if it's really possible, that's where it goes
Or
back to
it's
consent.
how it's being relayed that matters.
And it goes back to consent, because there's some people from the beginning they don't want it. So maybe you can say for the first time, if the compliment comes and the student tells you it's a no, then that's why you stop from it. Don't continue. Many cases we have seen when this staff continue doing the same thing without even you wanting, because the challenge and what even inspired us most to look at sexual harassment from staff toward student is the issue concerning power dynamics. Remember, these are people who are staff, and the staff is what who govern us as the student. So it's like you're fighting with somebody who's in power. So that's what inspired us. So let us come together, because this people in power in position of trust, and they're misusing that position to mitigate their agendas on us as students. And that is not the main thing that brought us to school. We came here to gain knowledge, but is really that what we're gaining?
No. Vanessa, maybe you can continue. He's told us about verbal harassment. Maybe the other 2 types?
We also have the non-verbal. That is somebody maybe gazing at you, winking at you, and even sometimes being touchy with you, and it's making you feel uncomfortable. That person is sexually harassing you. And the other one is the physical. Now the physical is the one that it can also go to the extent of even somebody raping you, doing kisses, forcefully kissing you, hugging
And
you.
touching inappropriately.
Yeah.
Tom, what are the effects of sexual harassment? Like earlier she said about the lady who founded now the campus Me Too, and she was affected with her study. So what are some of the effects of sexual harassment?
When you talk about the effect, we can start with the physical effects. So in such manner, it can lead to sex, because when that person really continues, and as a student, you don't have that right to tell this lecturer no. Maybe it can give you a retake for the rest of your life. So at some point, it will lead to sex, and sex, you have unwanted pregnancy, you can contract sexually transmitted infections. It can even go up to rape, can be raped. And these things are really not good. It really come and affect the mental the student. And when you're mentally affected, then you can't focus on your studies. So which means that your academic life will be ruined. You'll really be failing a lot in the classes. And also that one affect how you'll be relating to other student. Because at some point the student will see this the lecturer's favorite because how the lecturer is always behaving around you. They make that an assumption, and now you become the enemy of the whole student. So basically it makes your social life and interaction very difficult.
Vanessa, so how do we deal with some of these effects? How do we deal with these incidents?
We came up with 5 demands as Campus Me Too, and we took them to the Ministry of Education, and they passed that. I don't know if you can call it a bill or a
What bill is it?
It's the 5 demands. You can also check it out. It's in our book. Our 5 demands that we wanted each.
Please read them. Please feel free to read them.
The five demands, we want each and every higher learning institution in Kenya to abide in them. That is number 1. They should educate first years on the issues regarding sexual harassment and how to protect themselves and all that, because we believe that most first years are the ones who are targeted by the perpetrators, young and naive. And also the staff, that is demand number 2, the staff should be trained in regards to the same, because some of them might be sexually harassing people and they don't know. You can be doing something and you don't know. For example, you find somebody, you tell them, I don't like hugging people, and then they're like, I'm a hugger. But they don't know that they are sexually harassing you because they're doing it out of you not giving them consent. They're forcefully demanding that hug from you. And another one, we should ensure that each and every institution appoints a gender officer, so that in case we have sexually harassment issues or cases in the institutions, students can know where to go and report. And thankfully, I think for Kenyatta University, we have a place where people can go and report those issues. Unfortunately, most people do not know about that. So for us as Campus Me Too Kenyatta University, we try to also make awareness about the existence of the place where they can go report that. And then number 5, establish an investigative system in case these cases happen. We have to investigate. Is it really true this thing happened? Do you have evidence and all that?
I am curious. How do you have evidence of sexual harassment?
You can record.
How?
Just to tackle that.
Because I'm curious. I am imagining myself in a room. I have gone to see my lecturer.
Okay.
And then my phone is in my handbag. So let us assume. I'll do it practically. This is my handbag. So this lecturer starts harassing me. So at what point will I remove my phone and start recording? And I am in panic. I am scared. How do I get evidence?
Well, just talk a little bit about that. On the demands, I think she didn't tackle the last one. The first 4 demands need to be incorporated in a gender policy that has to be then being reviewed after every 2 years. Thankfully, Kenyatta University has got a gender policy and a sexual harassment policy. So on the issue about how can we get this evidence, as our Campus Me Too, we always have channels whereby we have something called a student toolkit. So this student toolkit is the one which used to help students on ways on how to come with that. And also it's in our book. So one way we are talking about prevent. So remember, it's a social issue. Social issue, getting evidence is really challenging. So prevent, we need to avoid visiting lecturers alone during evening hours. If you suspect a lecturer has got an intention that can lead to sexual harassment, then you need to come with a friend. Now at this point, when you come with a friend can act as a witness because he or she showed that. Another one is avoid discussing your personal life with the lecturer. So now you're a student, you're a first year, you're telling the lecturer, you're coming from a really humble background, blah, blah, blah. Then the lecturer will come and take advantage of that. Tell you need to come, we need to be harassing you in the name that I'm going to give you money to pay your school fees, I'm going to give you money for pocket money, I'm going to give you A's in your exams. But that one came because you discuss your personal life. So these are things that we need to avoid as student. Another one is to collect evidence safely. So
right before we get to collect evidence safely, you've said something about, I'm going to give you A's because of something and something. We have sexually transmitted grades, yes?
Exactly.
At what point how do you know, as in, how do you go about that situation? Is it because the student was harassed, or sometimes the student takes themselves to the lecturer, or how? At what point do...
There's a situation where some students will take themselves to the lecturers. We know that there are those who are willingly in those relationships.
But that is not harassment, yes?
Yeah, that is not harassment. But there are those who are unwillingly find themselves in that situation. Maybe you are, for example, a class rep. And maybe now you have to communicate constantly with this lecturer. He's calling you to the office so that you can take maybe some notes for your fellow students or anything. And then in that scenario, when you're going to his office or her office, this lecturer does something to you. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, just to talk about that, we're focusing from staff to student. So when a student takes themselves there, we can't really handle that. And it always goes to the point at some point you don't get an A, you get an E. That's a retake.
Yeah.
There's a case we had from Moi University. There was a lecturer who was obsessed with a student. Like, I don't know, if he feels really happy when the student is in the class. So he always give the student a retake.
A retake.
So that he can
until
never
the lecturer
leave the
had to
class.
retire is when that lady finished her school.
No.
So only one.
Yeah.
And even we have that some cases in Kenyatta University, a student whereby it was the lecturer denied giving her marks because she denied to engage in sexual activity with the lecturer. Up to now, she hasn't graduated.
So how do you deal with such situations? What do you do?
We have we have some numbers that you can call, or we can work in partnership with Action Aid so that they can come assist because they are our sponsors.
So you keep repeating because you're happy to see me in class.
So that's what happens, and that's the reason why we come together as students. That's the reason why we have this charter of demands, because after that we had a petition whereby we signed up to 50,000 signatures, took them to the parliament, and these things need to be incorporated and we need to see them in action. Through that, then we know that we can sort out these issues. That's why there's an investigative committee whereby me as a student, I can approach and tell them that with me I did my exams, but I don't have my marks. So can you really follow it? Now it will be different when a lecturer, staff and staff making follow-up on that, you are sure. But when you as a student, you want to make that follow-up alone to the same lecturer who are a student, it's not really possible. That's why we need to have the investigative committee that works on that.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you were reading to us something. So we just concluded reading how to prevent yourself. Yes? So
Yes.
collecting evidence, I really want to read this. Collecting evidence safely.
Exactly. So one, never put yourself or someone in danger when collecting evidence of sexual harassment. So at some point, now, when you want to collect that evidence, you want to make recording, especially when you are making a phone call. So at the time you receive a phone call from the lecturer and you want to press record, the other one at the end of the line will hear that. So you're putting yourself in danger.
Yeah.
So when you come with your friend and know you have put the recording on, but maybe you never placed it very well, the lecturer will be aware, putting more yourself into danger. And that one, use your phone to discreetly record conversations such as text messages, voicemail, videos, and emails. So in case you have been sent some SMS, just take a screenshot, keep them. Videos, screenshot, really keep them. These are the evidence that we're going to use. And also, likely we need to keep the record of meetings with the perpetrators. So we need to note down, this day we had a meeting with this lecturer, different various days. So there's a time, the lecturer that was really trapped by the student. He has been having the behavior of sexually harassing a girl. So this time they team up as a student. They were meeting at a certain hotel. So this lady organized with the friends to really have some fun videos. So they come early on the place of meeting. They strategically placed themselves there, started recording videos and even recording sound. So at the end of the day, we had evidence and this lecturer action was taken. But even the problem we have, according to the Sexual Harassment Act of 2007, the only thing that is there, the penalty is really small, like 1 year imprisonment and 100,000 cash. So which lecturer can't pay that money? Yes. These are things that we need to take the conversation further and even have the punishment to be more severe so that they can really feel the effect. But if it's 100,000, each and everyone can do that because they are aware that they're going to afford that. So those are things that even we are really aiming at ensure that act has to be changed, especially on the punishment that's being given to these perpetrators.
All right, before we continue, so if I understand correctly, let's assume I am a freshman. So based on the conversation up until where we've reached, I need to understand that as a freshman, at the back of my mind, anytime or for the first time I am called into the office by a lecturer, I know that I need to put my phone on record and I don't need to go alone.
Yeah.
For the first time.
Yeah, to be safe. And
To
also,
be safe.
you can also...
Since we don't know the motive of
Yeah.
that particular lecture.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And also you can avoid like having a lot of interactions with your lecturers, because we have the corporate emails. If he or she wants to communicate to you, why don't they use the corporate email? And I when I look on my phone, if I want to look for any lecturer or any student in my corporate email, even if I don't have their corporate email, I can search through my contacts. If I have their two names and search the two names, I'll be able to access this person's corporate email. So we are trying to also discourage people making normal phone calls, messages, and constant physical contact to the lecturers if they are unnecessary. If it's for official business, and which is also, I think, ethical, let's use the corporate email for communication for the purposes of schoolwork. Yeah.
So we've done prevents and we've done collective evidence safely.
Yeah.
So we get into now reports.
On the report, action 1, if you experience sexual harassment, speak out quickly, talk to your trusted friends and family. So that's why we have this moment whereby a student can really find a good space whereby they can really talk about this.
Yeah.
So that's why now we have the movement. Let us really take the conversation outside. Apart from that, know your university sexual harassment policy and report to the institution immediately. Apparently, we have few institutions with this policy. It's only Kenyatta University that had. Currently, through Campus Me Too, University of Nairobi has a sexual harassment policy, and same as to Maseno University, they've got a gender policy. So, and on the demands, the first demand we had is to ensure that when freshmen come to university, they need to be trained and they need to watch an educational resource on sexual harassment so that they can know on how to report these issues. So these are things that we're really demanding for. Apparently, Kenyatta University hasn't started that, despite the fact that they have the policy. But this year during orientation, it was only 15 minutes given to the Department of Gender. That's really small, whereby the student can report that. And lastly, we have to...
Before you get into that, is there a way that Campus Me Too can, a little get into other campuses and now maybe push them to have these policies?
Yeah, actually we are really doing that, and that's why UN is currently having a policy. Maseno is having a policy. So we onboarded ZTech and KCA. We have also Corporate University of Kenya. Apart from that, we have Maseno Training Institute. So with this, when you continue having contact communication with the administration, we need to tell them the reason why it's really important. And also this thing came also from the Ministry of Education. They need to do that. So we are also ready to help them come up with this gender policy, because we will do it freely of charge, because this is what we want our students to have. Yeah,
and then there's one more.
So the last one is gather your friends. Power comes in numbers. Demonstrations, strike, boycott, distribute anonymous letters, and the use of social media.
Especially the use of social media.
Yeah. That's what we're doing. Actually, we have social media accounts from Facebook, Campus Me Too. We have Instagram, Campus Me Too. We also have a website that has got all this information, www.campusmetoo.com. And under that, you have a student toolkit. So what I just taken us through was a student toolkit. That's really to help the student. We have a lecturer's toolkit up to the same, and also we have the parents' toolkit. So these are things that need to help, because these are the three main stakeholders that need to help us in solving this social issue.
Speaking of a student toolkit, allow me to read some feedback. We have Mtoto Mariam, it's by God's grace that Runda is watching. What a great conversation. Nimependa hizo demands. From where can the students get a student toolkit? And answer here. Yeah, evidence. I think tumejibu your evidence, but then there's from where can the students get a student toolkit?
So they just need to visit our website, www.campusmetoo.com. We have got all the resources that we're using. Everything that's in this notebook is inside there, and we even have more. We even have a video that can really explain to somebody what is sexual harassment, and they can know that.
And the accessibility is free.
It's free. It's free. Just
as
join.
long as you have data.
It is a public website actually. Just join and you'll take it and every information that you want. And apart from that, in various institutions where we advocate for students to join the different chapters. Let them join and let them take the conversation further. Yep.
And also, to add on that, any student from any higher learning institutions who don't have Campus Me Too, they can reach out through our social media platforms and request us to go and launch it. Because we can only go to an institution if the students are interested to join. Yeah.
I feel like this Be Unactive Bystander has really caught my eye. Take us through this. What is Be Unactive Bystander?
Being an active bystander, it's like being considerate or taking care of your friend. For example, the effects of sexual harassment, one of them is missing class, depression, sometimes stigmatization and all that. If you notice or if you feel like your friend is not okay, you can reach out and know like what are they going through, and if at all the issue is they have been sexually harassed, by being an active bystander, you can stand with that person and aid them to get the assistance that they need. That is reporting the issue, making sure the perpetrator pays for what they have done, and all that, helping them get help, therapy, because maybe they are psychologically affected. Yeah.
Tell me a bit, yes.
And also take you through being an active bystander. We have some acronym called SAFE. So the first one, S, is to see the situation as a problem. Be on the lookout for things that do not feel right and recognize when somebody needs help. So as that when I become an active bystander, I can see my friend hasn't been coming to class for a very long time. What could be the problem? So after seeing that, I need to assess the situation, and from that I'll be able to realize that this student needs help.
Not okay.
Yeah. So we have assess this situation. Step in, join into the conversation. If someone look uncomfortable, think of an excuse for you both to leave, just in case you guys are in that office and you have assessed and like, see, this conversation is not taking us somewhere. It's not educational. They need to find out how to leave that office, and that's why we have this movement.
Fast.
Exactly. And we have F, feel responsible to act. So trust your instinct to know when something is not right and seek support from the authority of the university. So this is when it calls as a student to come together, because at the end of the day, maybe I can say I'm not being sexually harassed, let me leave out. But you never know. At the end of the day, I'll become a parent and my child will come and pass through the same institution and my siblings. So we need to start now, and we need to act responsibly. And that's now what we're doing as Campus Me Too students. And lastly, E, educate yourselves on what to do. Know it is never the survivor's fault, and know how you can report the incident of the situation.
Yeah, no, it is never the survivor's fault. I'm sure you've had situations whereby a student is sexually harassed and they will always be asked,
Exactly.
Mama, you didn't trigger? You're not the one who started a conversation. How do you deal with such situations?
So on that issues, we can't blame the survivor. I think the university has allowed the student.
We can't blame the survivor, but people do blame the survivor.
Yeah.
So according to that, if the institution feels that the student are not wearing in a manner that they want to, I think they can come up with a policy that directs us how we dress. Same as to Strathmore.
Yeah.
So and still, even in such institutions, you still have the sexual harassment despite the fact that they're dressing. So I think dressing is not a call for harassment, and that's something that we need to know, and we need to draw the line. When I dress in this manner, it doesn't mean that you want to harass me. After all, I'm focusing on my business as the lecturer. You come and teach. If the student doesn't feel okay, then maybe tell the student, leave my class. At some point, we'll see our lecturers and say, when a student doesn't dress in the manner that they want to, they tell them to leave. It's better to tell the student to leave than not to harass the student. Yeah.
Vanessa, yes.
We can also break the stereotype. It starts with us, you know. Today I can victimize a survivor. Tomorrow I don't know where I'll find myself. I don't know the position I'll find myself in. So like, let's try to delete the stereotypes that have been created over the years, that dress code, I don't know, you're the one who took yourself there, and all those issues. Let's try to see it in a way of this person was barely innocent. This person maybe was forced because they were helpless. They didn't have somebody to help them. Because sometimes even the way we have said about bystander, I can communicate to my friend and nimwambie, this and this is happening to me. Na akwe like, hey, You see, and they start gossiping
And
about
judging,
and
yeah.
judging you and all that. So it's all about us deleting the stereotypes and trying to educate ourselves on how we can work on these issues. Yeah.
Tom, maybe do you have therapists around campus between the movement? Do you have therapists that offer help and mental health uplifting?
Exactly. Actually, as a movement, we have an organization that supports us. We have one getting free counseling. You call 119 and from Kenya Red Cross Society. Call 1195 healthcare assistant, and also SMS help to 21094 from Action Aid. So with these stakeholders being on board, they really help us. And also within our movement, we got people from different disciplines. Vanessa is doing psychology. She's aware of that. And so when the person comes on board, Vanessa will really come and help out. So we train students on how to really approach the survivors when they come on board. So when it comes to counseling, that's something that we offer free of charge.
Vanessa, do you have success stories of victims who are able to bounce back into their studies?
Yeah.
Maybe
like
share with us
Jael.
anonymously, apart from Jael.
Apart from Jael, we also have a student who is one of us. She was sexually harassed, and even though she didn't get the assistance, because unfortunately the student was blind. And the time when she went to report the case, they're telling her to describe the person who sexually harassed her.
What?
You see? So at the end of the day, what happens? Yes, she got therapy, she was assisted, and she was able to bounce back. She's now doing her master's here in Kenyatta University. We have a student who was sexually harassed in UON by a security, somebody from the head of security, I think. And by them working together, they were able to gather the evidence and make her get the assistance she needed.
Can we also say the use of CCTV in every particular corner of our school helps?
Yeah. Not only the school, even the offices. Because if maybe I say I had gone to this office at this time and I had not recorded, at least we can go back and go to wherever the CCTV person,
around the hallway,
and gather that information, and it will be like, it's true, this person was here at this time, so you cannot deny, you cannot defend yourself. And even the staffs, what they can do is they should not be afraid to stand with us, because it's so unfortunate some of these colleagues of these perpetrators know this thing, but wanaongelelea tu chini ya maji, but they won't help you. But they know this thing is happening. They know the perpetrator.
Maybe they are mostly comrades. They are comrades. Maybe they are comrades of their colleagues.
Maybe we can say that. But some of them, maybe they are scared because of ranks too, or something like that. I don't know. So we really need to work together, because you might not be a student, but you have a child, you have a brother, you have a niece, you have a nephew. So if this person is affected, you are also directly or indirectly affected by that situation.
Wow. As we wind up, Tom, maybe talk to our freshmen just students. We have so many freshers at the moment.
I think what I can say to the freshmen is that let them join the conversation. For those who are in Kenyatta University, we have got a chapter. Let them come to us. Let them reach out to us through our social media pages. You can just SMS and say, I'm coming from this institution. Then we'll reach out through you. To you throughout the various chapter leaders that we have. And also the same, I'm insisting any person who is watching us today kindly visit our website www.campusme2.com. We've got each and every resource that's really helpful for us to understand. And they say, when you don't have education, when you are not knowledgeable, then there's nothing that will really never come out. And that's what we've been even hearing from our survivors. They say, I never knew that this thing exists. So these are call to action. Let them come, let them visit us, let them visit our social media pages, let them visit our website, get the relevant knowledge that they want, and we really invite them to come and work together, because without the numbers, then we can go nowhere actually.
Sure. Vanessa?
What I can say is Campus Me Too, not only is it a movement, it's also a safe space. It's a place where you can also grow, such that for me personally, I didn't know in detail what sexual harassment really is until when I joined Campus Me Too, and hapo ndio nikakuwa like, oh my god. So each and every day I'm always sexually harassed when I go to Boda Matatu. Oh my God. So when I do this, I'll be sexually harassing somebody. So it makes me be knowledgeable and know how to handle the different people in my space and know how to react when somebody does something to me, because sometimes you might feel uncomfortable, kumbe you're being sexually harassed. And also the issue of seeking help and getting assistance. When you come to Campus Me Too, like the stories that we have for the survivors, you will find that you will be able to feel like you're not alone, because going through these issues alone, they bring to you post-traumatic stress disorders, they bring depression, suicidal thoughts, and because you feel maybe you are alone. And it's so unfortunate, some of our closest people will not understand us. So when you come to Campus Me Too, we understand and we will be able to help you rise again. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vanessa. And Tom, I've fallen in love with your merchandise. I've said that so many times. So if there's someone who'd be interested in maybe getting your merchandise, where can they get it?
For our merchandise, if you come to our meetings, if you like take part in our activities, that is where you will get, because it is a movement, so we just don't give it to each and every person, because some of them can misuse our merchandise and use it for the wrong purpose and destroy our image. We are not here to dirtify or throw mud at someone. We're just trying to solve a solution that is to solve a problem that is affecting our society. So we only give it to people who are
part of
intentional to be part of us. Yeah, so if they go to those activities, they come to our events, they'll be able to get the merchandise.
And how do we know the events? You post them on your social media?
We post on our social media platforms. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for sharing with us your knowledge. We really, really appreciate. You have an event on the 11th of October.
Yeah, we have an event on the 11th of October. That is International Day of the Girl Child.
Yes.
And we will be educating people on the issue of sexual harassment and focus more on the issue of consent, because most of the time, even in relationships, you will find that mtu atakuwa tu ni lenye tumezoea, because we are, but I've not given you that consent, maybe I'm not in the mood. And pia watu wengine hawajui like what consent really is.
And also most people don't know that you can be raped while you're in a relationship. Most people don't know that. It's a thing.
So like we will be talking about consent and emphasizing more on sexual harassment, because the freshmen are in school and we believe most of them will come on board and we will have gotten the opportunity to teach them on that.
Tom, where can we find your offices physically here at KU?
Apparently we don't have an office, but through the social media, that's where you reach out to us. And we always have a meetup places, because we are like an association. So every Wednesday and Fridays we always meet up at Standaria, whereby you can come and discuss these issues. And also that's whereby we always organize ourselves and we create our plans. Actually, for even the event that we're having on 11th, we're still going to discuss more about it and how we are going to have it done. I think it will be here within the institution, and that's a good platform whereby each and every person who is really interested to come on that day, you can reach out to us and organize. In case they're not a student within the Kenyatta University, you can arrange for them to enter and access the event. It will be a really good one from 9 to 12.
What are some of the activities you'll have in the day?
We'll have a walk on that day for 1 hour, walk around the school and continue making awareness that the movement that is existing, whereby students can join and come and discuss about these issues and find solution. Also on that day, we're really going to talk about consent. We're going to talk about sexual harassment and its effect, being that mental health is something that need to be addressed, and this is one of the things that may cause mental disorders.
Before we wind up, maybe give us your social media platforms one more time as I read some feedback.
On Instagram, it's campus_me_2. TikTok, campome2. Facebook, Campus Me Too.
So we have plenty of feedback. Have Mzalendo Warisambu. Good morning, guy. Ati keep a record of a meeting with the perpetrators aje sasa. I don't know if my lecturer will rip me. I just visit for academic help. In whose hands are we safe? I think if I understood when you said keep a record of meeting, it means like if we met with Mr. So-and-so on Monday at 2 p.m. on the 2nd of September, I write that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you can know if somebody has bad intentions. Sometimes the intuition can tell you.
There's people you don't know how the intuition feels like.
So, like, not all lecturers are bad. Not all lecturers are bad. Point to not all lecturers are bad.
Yeah.
So, don't be scared to meet your lecturers for the purposes of your education, for the educational purposes, and don't be scared to meet your lecturer if you have an issue with your academics. But when it comes to the perpetrators, this person will not do this thing to you once. Maybe the first time you will not have recorded the incident, but you can record the day that person did that and plan maybe with your friends the next time you go visit the person, and make sure now your phone is on record while you're entering that office, and just leave your phone maybe in the bag, or you can hold it on the hand. Bora tu asione. Yeah.
That is scary. Anyway, moving forward, we have
tough, that is the only way we can get, because when you go to any court of Kenya, tuulizwa evidence iko wapi. Hata ukitukujia sisi pia, you want us to assist you, but umekuja na theoretical information. We want the substance, the facts.
And then I also imagine, in my personal opinion, and please don't come at me, I also imagine before it figures that point of being raped, they must have shown some earlier signs. Yeah.
That's why I'm saying the issue of
so
intuition.
Those are the ones you start recording pole as you avoid.
And also try to avoid. Don't usifanye ati sasa now you're doing, so unataka kwenda collect evidence, you're trapping yourself to go through an issue,
through a traumatizing experience.
Sure.
So
you can avoid. If you notice this, just you can cut off the person. Now he will sense maybe you've noticed that.
You can cut off your lecturer and then I get an E. Carrying forward. We have Marcus Amol. How do you help someone who is sexually harassed at the time of the harassment, apart from later taking legal procedures on the accused?
Immediately after you're sexually harassed, any person, be it in school, be it anywhere, the first thing you need to do is go to the nearest health center. Hata usioge, usifanye. Just go the way you are. I think they have GVRC offices in most of these.
What is a GVRC office?
It's I don't
Gender Violence Recovery Center.
So they will collect the evidences, and I think these GVRCs are also found in police posts or police stations. They will take it there, and maybe your case will start from there. You will come back to us after some of the evidence imepatikana, na pia the doctor ataandika statement kuonyesha kwamba this person was sexually harassed.
Have you had cases of men who've been sexually harassed?
Apparently that was the saddest one. When we were collecting evidence, doing our survey in 2019, KU Parklands. No, men were, it's actually men were sexually harassed more than the ladies, and you ask yourself, these are men, and these are people who want to become lawyers. So we really never understood it, because we see men as people who are strong in the society, they can really start up for themselves, but they still find themselves in that cases actually. So men are always harassed actually. Now there's a time we had a discussion with men from engineering, and now we're really happy to hear what they were saying about that, and it's true, it's something that is there actually. So we can't say it's only ladies who are being harassed, even men.
Okay.
And that's why we are calling men into board, because that's why I'm here, so that the men can see, no, it's not a lady's thing.
Balance. Is that sense of balance.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
And they should speak up.
Yes, please speak up. Men, please. I think on this show I've had so many episodes where I talk about men speaking up, like how important it is to speak up. Just because you're a man does not mean you bottle your feelings. You can always speak them up. You will die faster if you don't talk about it. I still have more feedback from Zalendo Resambu. Is Campus Me Too a private venture or a product of Kenyatta University? I think you explained about that earlier. We also have these t-shirts look cool and cute. How can I get one? Itumie kushtua Mamorio kijijini. They've also addressed that as well. Marcus Amol, some students are provoking in dressing. Some students are provoking. We've said don't say this. We've really said don't say this. Some students are provoking in dressing. As you push the campaign, push for SAT dressing too. I know there is the campaign for my dress, my choice, but there is logic and reality. Well, and then Mzalendo or Resambu responded and said, sometimes the provoking is good. Sometimes the provoking is good. Please, this is, I'm reading a response. This is not Nina speaking. Sometimes the provoking is good. It helps other students not to sleep in class. Ama wewe unaonaje? Okay. I do not agree with anything I have read here. Marcus Amol, don't confuse dress code with what you call clean wealth. And then Zalendo responded, so what's the t-shirts? So that's why the t-shirts are white, because the image is pure. Wow, I love that. Thank you so much. Now that I agree with, yes?
Yep.
We are like you said, you're not trying to tatter anyone's
we are not trying to tarnish any image, and we are not enemies to our lecturers.
Yes.
We love them so much. The only thing we want to like clear the small percentage in our ribia jina.
The small triviazis that are spoiling the entire sack.
Yeah.
The last response we have, Mzalendo once again, I can't believe we are discussing dress code in 2022. Kitambo, ladies did not know braziers. We used to walk out in open air markets. Cases of rape and sexual harassment were very few. Actually, that's true. If you look at Kitambo, people never used to wear clothes and there was no sexual harassment, unless it was there, but they did not know it was sexual harassment and they did not know how to address it, yes? Because in the past, men were like gods. But anyway, conversation for another day. We've come to the end of this conversation. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you too for your time.
We really appreciate it. Is this mine?
Yeah.